Imagine a company synonymous with flight itself, a titan that built the very wings of human ambition, carrying dreams across oceans. But what if that same titan, once the undisputed king of the skies, became the very force that brought it crashing down? What if the company you trusted with your life betrayed that trust for profit at the cost of 346 innocent lives?
This is the story of Boeing. A company that once defined safety became a ticking time bomb, risking the lives of passengers, pilots, and crew with a toxic obsession for the bottom line. Now, let's journey back to a time when Boeing was truly untouchable. For nearly a century, Boeing wasn't just a name. It was a promise. A promise of innovation, reliability, and unparalleled safety. From the iconic 707 that ushered in the jet age, to the majestic 747 Queen of the Skies that democratized air travel, Boeing aircraft were engineering marvels. They were built by engineers, for engineers, with a deep-seated culture of precision and pride. By the late 20th century, Boeing dominated global jet sales. They held a near monopoly with their only real competitor, Airbus, still playing catch-up. Pilots revered their planes, airlines trusted their craftsmanship, and millions of passengers boarded Boeing aircraft every day with an implicit faith in their safety. This wasn't just a company. It was an American icon, a symbol of ingenuity and excellence. But even the mightiest empires have their Achilles heel. And for Boeing, that weakness began to fester not on the factory floor, but in the boardroom. The question isn't if they were great, but when did that greatness begin to rot from within? The year was 1997. Boeing, at the pinnacle of its power, made a decision that would forever alter its destiny. It merged with McDonnell Douglas. This wasn't just a corporate acquisition, it was a cultural invasion. McDonnell Douglas, a company known for its aggressive cost-cutting and shareholder-first mentality, effectively took over Boeing's soul. The old Boeing, driven by engineers and a relentless pursuit of perfection, began to die. In its place emerged a new entity, one where financial metrics trumped engineering integrity. Executives, many from the McDonnell Douglas side, were rewarded for slashing costs, outsourcing jobs, and accelerating production schedules. The mantra shifted from build the best plane to build the cheapest plane, fastest. Engineers, once the heart of Boeing, found their voices silenced. Their warnings about design compromises and quality control issues were dismissed as old-fashioned or too expensive. This wasn't just a change in management. It was a betrayal of Boeing's very DNA. And this tragic flaw, this cancer within the corporate body, would soon manifest in the most horrifying way imaginable. But how could a company so steeped in safety allow such a dangerous shift? The stage was set for disaster. Boeing, desperate to compete with Airbus's new fuel-efficient A320neo, rushed the 737 MAX to market. Instead of designing a new plane, they retrofitted an old one, cramming larger engines onto an existing airframe. This required a hidden software fix, the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System, or MCAS. A system designed to push the plane's nose down automatically. Boeing hid MCAS from pilots. They didn't require specific training. They buried its existence in obscure manuals. It was a ticking time bomb in the cockpit. October 29th, 2018. Lion Air Flight 610. A brand new 737 MAX plunged into the Java Sea, killing all 189 souls on board. The MCAS system, fed by a faulty sensor, repeatedly forced the plane into a dive. pilots fought valiantly, but they were battling a ghost in the machine they didn't even know existed. Boeing's response? They blamed pilot error. They refused to ground the fleet. Then, just 5 months later, the unthinkable happened again. March 10th, 2019, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302. Another 737 MAX. Another MCAS malfunction. 157 more lives extinguished by a corporate decision to prioritize profit over safety. 346 lives. That's the human cost of Boeing's betrayal. 346 families shattered. Pilots unknowingly flying death traps. Engineers whose warnings were silenced. This wasn't just a corporate failure. It was a mass casualty event directly linked to a company's choices. But how could a company that built the safest planes in the world allow such a catastrophic oversight? The world reacted with horror. The 737 MAX was grounded globally for 20 agonizing months. This wasn't just a temporary setback. It was a financial and reputational abyss. Boeing faced over $20 billion in direct losses, billions more in compensation to airlines, thousands of undelivered aircraft, criminal investigations and congressional hearings, lawsuits from the families of the victims demanding justice. But the 737 MAX was just the tip of the iceberg. The cancer of cost-cutting had spread throughout Boeing's entire manufacturing process. While the MAX was grounded, inspectors began finding alarming manufacturing defects on other critical programs, including the next-generation 777X. We're talking about loose bolts, missing fasteners, foreign object debris left inside fuel tanks, and even structural cracks in fuselage sections. This wasn't just human error. It was a systemic breakdown of quality control. The very foundation of Boeing's engineering pride was crumbling. The company that once symbolized precision was now synonymous with shoddy workmanship. But how did the culture of safety, once so ingrained, completely vanish? The decline of Boeing's safety culture wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate consequence of prioritizing shareholder value above all else. The McDonnell-Douglas merger brought in a new breed of leadership, executives with financial backgrounds, not engineering. They saw planes as products to be optimized for profit, not as complex machines carrying human lives. Engineering teams were slashed by 30%. Critical components were outsourced to the lowest bidder, often without proper oversight. Quality control inspections were reduced or rushed. Engineers who raised concerns were marginalized, silenced, or even fired. Whistleblowers emerged, painting a grim picture. One former Boeing manager stated, "We were told to find ways to cut costs, not to find ways to make planes safer." Another engineer described a culture where quality was a dirty word. This wasn't just a shift. It was a betrayal of the very people who built Boeing's legacy. The implicit trust that pilots, airlines, and passengers placed in Boeing was systematically dismantled, piece by agonizing piece. The king had fallen, not from external attack, but from internal rot. But while Boeing was consumed by its internal struggles, its greatest rival was watching, waiting, and seizing the moment. As Boeing spiraled into its multi-year crisis, its European rival, Airbus, was having a field day. While Boeing's 737 MAX was grounded and its 777X faced endless delays, Airbus's order book swelled. The Airbus A320neo became the undisputed champion of the single-aisle market, directly competing with the troubled 737 MAX. The Airbus A350 solidified its position as the preferred long-haul aircraft, leaving Boeing's delayed 777X in the dust. Airlines, once loyal Boeing customers, had no choice but to turn to Airbus. They needed planes, and Airbus was delivering. This wasn't just about market share, it was about trust. Airbus, with its newer designs and fewer recent controversies, became the safer bet. For the first time in decades, Boeing found itself not just trailing, but struggling to keep pace. The company that once dictated the pace of aviation was now desperately trying to catch up. The betrayal of its own values had handed its competitor an unprecedented advantage. But could Boeing ever truly recover from such a profound fall? After years of crisis, billions in losses, and a shattered reputation, Boeing finally began to acknowledge the depth of its problems. New leadership was brought in, promising a renewed focus on safety and quality. CEO changes and a shakeup of the board. Increased investment in engineering and safety protocols. A public commitment to transparency with regulators and customers. And in early 2026, after years of bleeding red, Boeing finally reported its first profitable quarter. A glimmer of hope. A sign that perhaps, just perhaps, the Titan could rise again. But the road to redemption is long and arduous. Boeing is still playing catch-up. The 737 MAX is flying again, but the shadow of its past still looms large. The 777X is still facing certification hurdles and delays. And the trust, once so absolute, remains fragile. Airbus, meanwhile, continues to innovate and expand its lead. Boeing is no longer the undisputed king. It's a company fighting for its relevance, constantly looking over its shoulder. The question isn't if they're trying to turn around, but can they ever truly reclaim the throne they so carelessly abandoned? The story of Boeing is a chilling testament to the fragility of even the mightiest corporate empires. It's a stark reminder that trust is earned over decades, but lost in moments. Profit over people is a recipe for disaster. Corporate culture is the bedrock of safety. Silence in the face of danger is complicity. No company is too big to fall, especially from within. The 346 lives lost are not just a statistic. They are a permanent scar on Boeing's legacy. This isn't just a story of corporate decline. It's a human tragedy born from betrayal to their own corporate principles. If this story resonated with you and you are thrilled about corporate history, their mistakes and lessons, join our community at The Great Decline. Subscribe now and hit that notification bell to ensure you don't miss our next deep dive into the empires that crumbled. Comment below. What do you think Boeing needs to do to truly regain trust? And which fallen giant should we investigate next? Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time as we continue to explore the profound lessons from the Great Decline.